What a fucking mind trip that game was. I guess we didn't kill our wife? Like, wow, okay. All this back and forth. Like, okay. Throughout the play, like, throughout the live stream playthrough, one of my biggest things was, like, every time I thought I accomplished the game, like, something just kept pushing it on, and, like, we kept learning this and that. And then the end completely changes everything that we learned throughout the game. And, like, I was kind of getting annoyed with it at first because I was like, why are they just prolonging this? Like, what is going on? Haven't we realized what's come up? Because halfway through the first part of it, when we hadn't even gotten to the hospital yet, I'm like, okay, I got this. We've got a Shutter Island thing going on. The doctors are letting us live out this fantasy paranoia thing that we have under the assumption that once we get to the end, we'll come to the grips with reality and everything will be fine. Only to find out that, like, oh, now we're watching this video of us possibly murdering our wife, and we tell this little girl who's kind of liking us now that we did it, and now she hates us and she runs off, and, like, man, just so much stuff. And then you have the letter at the end. Clearly, we weren't there with our wife at the end. We had kind of grown to hate her as, she got sicker and closer to death. And, like, you find out that the doctors were probably taking advantage of her, using her as, like, a guinea pig test subject to try out new stuff. And she was mad at them for that, and she was mad at us because she's the one that has to die, and, like, we grew to resent her because of it. Like, I get that, like, I understand where James is coming from that. Like, my mom was in a home before she passed because she was, terminally ill. Like, she wasn't gonna make it, and so they had her in the hospital. And like, it's hard to go see even your mom, your wife and stuff. It's hard to see that because you want to remember them for the good that they are and not what they are now. But man, to come to grips with, you just kind of let her die. And I'm sorry for the spoilers. Maybe I should have done a spoiler warning before this, because I'm gonna use this as my review. But I mean, I'm assuming that a lot of you guys have seen this before. But this game was absolutely fantastic. Like, I liked this game a lot. And now, I never played the original Silent Hill or the original Silent Hill 2. This is my first experience with it. I know a lot of you guys out there said that I should play this. This is a good game. You guys were 100% right. This game was great. And, like, I had forks with it. Like, every time I would solve this big mystery, I'd crack this huge puzzle, it would just kind of keep pushing the game on. And then we got to this spot where we had to, like, fight this dude, and like, the whole game, yeah, there's some fighting and stuff, but it's mostly little fights here and there, and you can run away from it. But no, like, you get drawn into this battle that you have to fight, and I can't stand that kind of stuff, because you're just, like, you just completely turn the game on its head. You change the dynamic of it, and I haven't really been working on it because I haven't had to, only to come across, later in the game where it's like, okay, I understand why it put this little check mark here, because had I not been able to beat the first one, there's a good chance I would have never beaten the last one, and so what a mind cluster. Like, just every time I thought I had this game down, something changed, and it was just like, okay, no, it's this, no, now it's this, and now, oh my god, it's this, and in the end, you have this girl that's been following you around, and you finally decide to end it with her. Like, wow, just what a, I don't know what else to say. Just a total, it was like the best M. Night Shyamalan movie ever. Like, it was, just imagine watching, The Sixth Sense like 7 times and never understanding what the twist was each time. Like, just a incredible storytelling, just absolutely incredible storytelling. it looked great. The voice acting was very good. You know, like everything that I thought I started to dislike about this game ended up not really being a dislike, right? It ended up being necessary that I went through that to complete the game. And like, man, it just flipped me upside down. Like you know, it's hard to say what I think about this game, because again, going through it, like I wasn't really happy. Again, you get to this part, you do a huge mystery, you know, you'd come across Pyramid Head, and you'd have to last long enough to survive being stuck in an arena with him, and then you would move on. And it's just like, okay, every time I solve this puzzle, every time I beat this enemy, like you just keep pushing farther and farther. And how is this dude not realized what's going on? Like, how is James jumping down these holes that are forever long? Like we don't know how far they go down, and he still gets back up, you know? And like, it just, how long until he realizes that this isn't real? But by the time you get to the end of it, you realize that, well, I didn't even know what was real. Like I didn't even know what I thought was not what was being thought of. You know, like I don't even know how to say that. But like, just an incredible game. And I mean, it, you know, it looks like you know, it ending clear 1 out of 8. Like it seems like there's a bunch of different endings to it. There were several places that I didn't go. Like at the top of the hospital, there was one spot I could go, but then I went into this other building, and there was Pyramid Head, and he pushed me into the other world. You know, there at the end at the hotel, you know, there's the observation room that apparently I didn't have a key for. So I couldn't get into it, and then you go into the place you're supposed to go into, and then you can't go in there anymore. So there's, you know, replayability in this game. Now that you know where you're going, what you're doing, how to do it, like you can do it maybe faster next time, or you can do it a little bit more efficiently next time. Like it just, there's a lot to this game that didn't come across to me while I was playing through it, and you know, some of it is because, you know, I looked up how long it should take to beat this game roughly, and I was way over that time, and so like I'm starting to like wonder, like what am I doing wrong here? Like just incredible stuff, and I mean, I don't expect anything less from Konami. You know, Konami is a great company. They've been around for a very long time. And now that it's over, like I don't want it to be over. You know, like the last 2 or 3 streams, I'm just like, dude, this has got to be the end. We've got to be coming across to the end. And now that it's over, it's like, wait, that was it? No, I don't want that to be it. I want there to be more. And so like, it was just an incredible game, like in terms of again, storytelling, playability. You know, there's, you know, the harder difficulties, the easier difficulties. Like it was just a very good game that it just kind of blows my mind at the end of it. You know, like it wasn't what I was expecting while I was playing it. It didn't end up being what I expected it before I started playing it, and it definitely wasn't what I expected at the end of it, you know? And so a game that can keep you on your toes like that, especially a horror game, is a good game. Like, it's worth playing, and I'm glad I bought it. I don't think I got it on sale. I actually think I bought it at full price, and I would gladly pay full price for it again. You know, if you were a fan of the original, if they have like a digital deluxe version, it would be worth paying the extra money for the digital deluxe version. That's how good this game was. Like, I don't say that very often, and I only say that it's worth paying that extra money for, if it's worth paying that extra money for. And this is definitely worth paying that extra money for. This was easily 2 huge thumbs up. And even though I wanted it to be over like 2 or 3 streams ago, again, now I'm kind of disappointed that it is. And so it's just a testament to the storytelling in itself. And in my opinion, I think that's probably the puzzles and the storytelling, I think, are the key to a good horror game. And that's probably why I play mostly like the Dark Pictures anthology. Even though I do play some Resident Evil, you know, Resident Evil, a lot of the gameplay, the fighting and stuff is a big part of it, because you do play these special ops, special forces guys. But you know, this was I don't think it was supposed to be that, you know, like this was definitely a game where James does not seem like a former Navy SEAL, you know, like he doesn't seem like somebody that's supposed to be able to do this type of stuff. And so, you know, I think the focus on the storytelling and the puzzles themselves, I think, is really specifically the storytelling. Really, the I can't get over the storytelling, because I consider myself pretty literate when it comes to storytelling. I have a degree in screenwriting. I have a degree in film theory and criticism. And so, you know, like I feel like I'm pretty learned when it comes to the ability to tell a story. And you can ask my wife. We'll be watching a movie. 25 minutes into the movie, I can tell you exactly what's going to happen for the next 2 hours. And so for me to be caught off guard as much as I was caught off guard playing this is a true testament to how good the storytelling really was. And so that alone gives it 1.5 thumbs. The other half is because it was fun to play, and I'm actually excited that I finished it now. You know, like it what I thought was going to be oh, thank God this is finally over, is now I kind of want to get back into it. Now I'm probably not, because I'm not I'm not a horror guy. I kid you not. Like I poop my pants like 4 or 5 times at least every stream, and so, you know, even with the Resident Evil games, I'm always like, oh, I'm going to go back and I'm going to play this, and I'm going to get this achievement, I'm going to get this trophy, I'm going to 100% this game. I'm probably not going to, which is sad to say, because, again, it looks like there's multiple endings, and so, you know, this would be a game, if I was going to replay, that this would be the one to replay. But I'm not a horror guy. I'm going to have PTSD after playing this game for at least 6 months. And you know, I've got a couple other horror games that we got to get to at some point. So it's just going to be, it's just one of those things where, like, this is definitely a game that deserves to be replayed. But it's not my wheelhouse to replay these type of games, because they terrify me. They absolutely terrify me. I'm not a horror person. I'm not a horror horror movie guy. I'm not a horror game guy. Like, but this absolutely deserves. I'm definitely going to YouTube the other endings to see what happens and to see what I missed. But this is something that it was probably a once in a lifetime experience. And I mean, it was absolutely, even though I might only play it the one time, it was absolutely worth full price. 150% worth full price. And I highly recommend this game. Shout out to Nico, dude. Shout out to Imaginator, Colby. You guys like encouraged me to play this game. Scavenger, to a certain extent, once you realized that I was playing this, you know, you said you enjoyed it as well. So, you know, shout out to specifically Colby and Nico, dude, for encouraging me to get into this one. And because this was fucking phenomenal. Like this was so good. And I'm still baffled how I was kept on my toes for as long as I was throughout this game. And so, huge kudos to Konami and whoever it is that wrote this game. I'm not sure who did the remake, but Bloober Games, I think, is what it was called. Huge shout out to them. And now I'm looking forward to whatever it is that they're gonna put out next, because this was absolutely incredible. And shoot,
it's time to let it go.
my hat's off. That's all I can say. Do yourself a favor, play this game. If you have to wait till it goes on sale, or you know, or you have to wait until somebody gives you a PS5 to play it, it's worth the wait. It's worth the wait because this was so good. This was so good. Shoot, man. What? I'm excited that it's over, but I'm also bummed. That's just the way it goes sometimes. But again, two huge thumbs up. Absolutely worth it. And I'm really glad we played this game. I'm really glad you guys encouraged me to play this one. Thank you.